Welcome back, everybody, to my top 30 board games of all time. Literally, these are the greatest board games ever invented in human history, according to me, at least right now. My list has changed. I made one over 2 years ago, and just like last time I did a top 20, if you can guess the most games in my top 10 of my next video, I will send you literally a free game, and it'll be a good one. So be sure to guess. Maybe you can guess on things I have enjoyed in the past. If you've never watched me before on Table Talk, here we talk about board games. We talk about them for literally anyone. So if you're here and you're a massive board game nerd, that's great. You'll enjoy the videos. And even if you're not, if you're just a casual fan looking to find a few recommendations, hopefully you also enjoy. But based on my past videos, past top 10s, you may have noticed I love interaction more than anything, and the stories that come from it. I love interactive games where you're messing with each other, working together, or somehow collaborating with the people around you to make those story moments. So I also love storytelling in games, or even games that stories just come out of. And I also love risk, gambling, and theme. I love cool themes. I love great art. I love themes that remind me of my favorite books, movies, and TV shows and video games from now or even way back in the day. So those are the type of things I enjoy. Guess my top 10 of all time in the comments below. And with all that being said, let's get to the top 20. My number 20, down from 15 last time. This is The Game of Life on steroids. It is awesome. It is a game where you are literally building someone's life using creativity, intelligence, money, and social skills to build your dream life, have romantic partners, jobs, activities, items, houses, and at the end of it, end with the most long-term happiness. What I love about this game is you can go any direction you want. I've had friends become president right before they're about to die while being a journalist in California at the beginning of their life. I've had people have 4 romantic partners and die young from the stress of that and going out a little too much in their teenage years. I've had other friends just live a steady life with a loving wife or husband in their house with their kids, and anything in between you can do. And what I love too is it is a little more complex of a game, but it all makes sense with the theme, right? Like you are able to do stuff using the resources of creativity, social skills, intelligence, and also you need money, and you can get stressed. You can get short-term happiness, which is great, but it's not as great as long-term happiness. And so if that sounds like a game for you, look it up. The Pursuit of Happiness, my number 20. The Pursuit of Happiness comes from Artipia Games, and this next one comes from one of my favorite publishers, Cosmos. And this is for all of y'all that grew up in the Midwest playing euchre, bourrée, hearts, spades, any game where like someone lays down a diamond, you got to follow suit, any trick-taking game. This is that, but way better and more interesting, and that is The Crew, all the way down from my 2 last year, which is a bit of a fall, but I literally beat the entire base game. Me and my wife, we beat all 50 scenarios the first one, but then a sequel came out, and it has renewed my interest once again in this game. What I love about it is you're working together cooperatively, unlike most taking games, and you'll each be given a set of objectives of what you need to do in that round with your teammates. And what's awesome is that goal changes every single game. One hand, you can be trying to win no rounds. And another time you're playing the game, you may try to win every pink card. Who knows? Or you might just be trying to win a specific 5 or not play any submarines or rockets. And anywhere in between, this game is great because it gets that trick-taking feel, but it mixes it up every single time. That is The Crew. My number 18 is for all of y'all who love Scooby-Doo or Clue growing up. I love both, so this game is my jam. Down from 10 last year is number 18, Mysteria from Libellude. This game is dope. You literally open like a dungeon master, which I don't really play D&D that much, but like a giant, spooky, creepy house screen, and you're handing out like these vision ghostly clues, and everyone else is an investigator trying to figure out who the heck killed who with what and why, and you're just sending out these abstract cards, and your friends can take them all sorts of wrong ways. Like someone could be like, ooh, you know, there's a clown in the photo and she looks like an entertainer and a singer, and you're like, oh my gosh, the card's red, I was trying to put to the red butcher. And your friends will sometimes seem like the biggest idiots, but so will you when you throw out visions and everyone's like, you have trash visions. That's what my wife Claire tells me every time we play. But that's okay. You can be the ghosts, you can be the investigators, and it is also a big group experience that takes just as long a time. You can gamble on if your friends' bets are correct, and so you can celebrate when they are or aren't. That is Mysteria, my number 18. My number 17 is a game you can play with literally anyone and have a hilarious time doing, and that is Monikers, new to the list. And Monikers is based on any of, if you played the hat game or celebrity name game growing up, where you throw names, and the first round, you're just trying to get people to guess the name. That round goes by, and you're like, okay, this game's fine. And there's like 40 or so cards in the deck. Then you reuse that deck, and the second round, it's only one word. And what's hilarious is you'll call back to the first round, maybe when people messed up, or maybe just hilarious moments for your one word, and that'll spark the reminder in people's minds. And then the final round is where it gets literally nuts. You can only use movements and noises, guttural noises, and you will do the dumbest stuff, but people will know what you're talking about. And it makes people feel so clever when they get it. It leads to hilarious moments. I work with someone who works a lot with children, and I just saw them just letting loose in a way I have never seen to get someone to guess a clue in this game. And just hilarious moments like those will happen. Hilarious memories will happen. And check it out if that sounds of interest to you. Monikers, my number 17. My number 16, also new to the list, is once again you solving a murder mystery in a house. But this time, all the guests are a little awkward. It is Awkward Guests from a company I have no idea who they are. Wish I knew the name. They're from, I think, are a Spanish company. And what's awesome about this game is it takes that idea of Clue you grew up playing and adds way more strategy to it. Because instead of just randomly checking off boxes, you'll be getting Clue cards and trading and negotiating with others. If you trust someone to give you a good lead, trade with them. Or if they've burned you before, maybe you deny them the trade later on. And what's great about this game is you need also motives from these suspects and a weapon, but you're also tracking the movement around the mansion to see who went where, who might have been with who, and who checks out with who. And it leads to awesome, awesome, awesome mystery moments where you take a logical leap, go on a limb, and manage to get it right and win the game just in time. If you love mystery games, check out Awkward Guests, my 16. My 15 is just insanity, but it is so much good fun, and that is Project Elite, down from 7 last year. This game from Simon is just you waving down, just mowing down waves of aliens. But you do it in a Yahtzee style mechanic where you're rolling for symbols, and that's how you move around the board and shoot stuff and get new weapons. But it all happens in 2 minutes where you play nonstop. There's no turns. You just, everyone goes. Everyone's moving around the board. And it's just an awesome, frenetic experience. Then you pause and you're like, okay, strategize, what do we do? And then you just keep going. It leads to just awesome moments where you turn around and your friend Matt has mowed down like a line of 10 zombies with one giant laser beam. And it leads to a lot of high fives. So check out that game if you want a zombie or alien where you're just mowing down waves type game, reminiscent of Halo. My number 15, Project Elite. My number 14 game is Forgotten Waters. It is up from last year at 21, and this game is phenomenal. It's Pirates of the Caribbean meets the board game. You're all a pirate crew running around, but each of you has a unique backstory and constellation you are trying to discover for yourself. So you'll be a little selfish, but you also need the team not to die or sink beneath the waves. So you'll work together while also trying to fulfill your own destiny in a storytelling game that is mainly just die rolls and worker placement, going to specific spots to do certain things. But it leads to amazing story moments, but also has strategy. It's not just straight story like D&D. There's some strategy of where you go, what you do, and what cards you play. Check it out if that sounds like your jam. Forgotten Waters. You will have amazing moments like my friend literally taking on the Kraken to only fail miserably. That is Forgotten Waters, my 14. Number 13 game, another game new to my list, and that is Don't Get Got. This is barely a board game. It's literally a game that you can play over a weekend or an evening. And instead of playing at a board, you are playing all throughout the night. It happens in conversations and in large groups and maybe even at dinner, where your goal is to get certain tasks done by other players. But if they realize you're getting them to do a task, they can call you on it and you fail the mission. So it's all about succeeding the most missions without people noticing you do it. And I've seen hilarious moments like people set up a mission for an entire half a day, complain about a headache, conveniently placing medicine on the counter just for someone to offer it to them, and realize that was a mission. Don't get got. Check it out from Big Potato Games, my 13. My 14 Forgotten Waters was from Plaid Hat Games, one of my favorite board games. And from Colossal Games, another favorite of mine, comes my number 12, Western Legends. It is all the way up from 16 last year, and that is because it brings the Wild West to the tabletop as you are sheriffs or outlaws trying to just run around, rob banks, go to casinos, get cattle, ride the train, take each other out, whatever. It's sandbox. You can literally go and do whatever you want in this game, and that's what I love about it more than anything else. You can have moments like when I was a outlaw for almost the whole game. I found the Lord, became a do-good sheriff, and turned my life around. And moments like that can happen anytime at the tabletop. Listens to amazing stories. That is my number 12. Check it out, Western Legends. My number 11, final one before you get to the top 10, just missing the cut, is the best party game I've ever played, arguably, and it is from Repos Productions, and that is Just One. This game you can play, once again, with literally anyone. I played my grandma, who hasn't played a new game in probably 40 years, but she understood that you had to give one clue each. You couldn't match. There could only be one of each copy, and you had to get one person to guess one word. Do that 7 times in a row, and you win. That's the whole game. That's really it. But I have played this game so many times, so many events, so many family gatherings. Just pull it out. It's so simple. You can play while eating a meal or anything else, and it always hits. That's why it's my number 11. If you've enjoyed this, you'll enjoy even more my top 10. Guess it in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching. I never expect anyone to, but y'all are dope for doing it. With all that being said, I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side.